Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing Noob.
Welcome back, fight fans. These are the 5 reasons why Shawn Showtime Porter beats Danny Swift Garcia. And please view our other video on opposing views as to 5 reasons why Danny Swift Garcia beats Shawn Showtime Porter. But let's dive right into this. And the first reason why Shawn Showtime Porter beats Danny Swift Garcia is aggressiveness. Yes, it is aggressiveness. Now, people always look at Shawn Showtime Porter and go, you know what, one of his greatest weaknesses is the fact that he's so aggressive, and he tends to, while he's pursuing his opponent, he tends to smother his own punches, and that leaves him open, pressing forward leaves him open for the big shot, for the big right hand. And the thing is, that's also one of his greatest strengths. So sometimes your offense can be used as your defense. And so for Shawn Porter, who's an ex-football player, coming in, rushing in, and even smothering your punches can make it ugly and can also get a guy out of there because he's coming with a lot of speed and power. And so that's always going to be a very, very, very difficult thing to overcome unless you're a highly skilled, highly talented, and elite fighter. His aggressiveness is going to bring you trouble all night. And even against the elite guys such as Keith Thurman, you have to look at it like this. Keith Thurman had hell with Shawn Porter all night. By far, he said that was one of his toughest opponents he's ever faced because it was a style that he was not, you can't really prepare for that. It's not a style that you can easily prepare for. And it's a guy that's constantly on the attack, that's relentless. And basically, he's coming to eat your lunch. You know what I'm saying? So his aggressiveness is going to be the first reason as to why Shawn Showtime Porter will win this fight. The second reason here is going to be speed. That's absolutely right, speed. Shawn Porter is going to be the faster man of the night. He's an ex-football player. He showed foot speed is not an issue at all against anyone. He can cut off the ring against anyone. I've never seen a fighter he couldn't cut off the ring against. He basically, if we take a look at his resume, just to make sure that we can get a fair viewpoint of it, he's 28-2, 17 knockouts. His only 2 losses came against Kell Brook back in 2014. This was Kell Brook when he was at his best, before any injuries and before he moved up to middleweight and to fight Triple G. So this is the best Kell Brook, the best version of Kell Brook that we've ever seen. He was undefeated at this time. Both of them were, and they were fighting for the IBF title, and he lost a majority decision over 12 rounds. And then if you look at against Keith Thurman, he lost a unanimous decision over 12 rounds in 2016. So looking at his resume, you got to look at it like this. When he fought Kell Brook, that was a hell of a fight, and Kell Brook attempted to use his jab, but that was even being nullified by Shawn Porter's aggressive style, and the fact that Shawn Porter was able to cut the ring off of Kell Brook gave him hell all night long. He was constantly on him. So as quick and agile as Kell Brook was back then, it was very difficult for him to get away from the sustained attack from Shawn Showtime Porter because his foot speed was very, very good. The next reason why Shawn Showtime Porter beats Danny Swift Garcia is going to be endurance. No fight we've ever seen Shawn Porter in, even with the style that aggressive, that he was gassed and he was unable to continue or to throw enough punches in any round. Every round, again and again and again, is a relentless attack of how good this man is and how great he conditions himself for the fight. Kenny Porter, his dad, always makes sure that he's prepared. They have their own fitness institute in Las Vegas, Nevada, where they implement a lot of high technology techniques on keeping his endurance up. And so you have to look at it like this. A lot of guys use sports medicine as a way to develop themselves to make sure that they're at the next level when it comes to endurance and strength and conditioning training. And so Shawn Showtime Porter has shown that he's not a guy that's going to get tired in the middle rounds or he's going to get gassed out, similar to the Canelo Triple G, where Canelo was gassing out mid to late in the fight. And you also look at it like this. He wasn't able to have sustained runs later in the rounds as he was early in the rounds. That's completely different from a guy like Shawn Showtime Porter. He's going to bring that same energy in the first round as he will in the 12th. He will be relentless consistently again and again and again. Shawn Showtime Porter is no joke. His endurance is elite. The fourth reason that I believe Shawn Showtime Porter will beat Danny Swift Garcia, and that's going to be his resume. His resume has a wealth of experience. He's fought a guy like Adrian Granados, who's a hell of a challenger, who's very tough. And that was his most recent fight. I believe he broke his hand during that fight. Prior to that, he fought an Andre Berto, and where he got the stoppage win. And prior to that, he fought a Keith Thurman, where he lost. And Adrian Broner. This was an Adrian Broner where people still had faith, and he only had one loss to Marcos El Chino Maidana at that time. And so people still believed in Adrian Broner, basically people had faith that Adrian Broner was still a good fighter. And then he also faced Paulie Malignaggi, Devin Alexander. And so he has fought guys that were pretty damn good, who's been in there with elite competition, and who may be elite themselves, such as a Keith Thurman, such as a Kell Brook. Because even if you look at those two fights, you'll say he won those two fights. There's some people that can argue that he won the two fights that they say he lost. You can have that legitimate argument because Shawn Porter is that good, and unfortunately sometimes he does smother his punches, so it's hard to tell, and sometimes he doesn't always get credit for those punches. But the guy is a very good aggressive fighter, and his resume doesn't always tell the story, but the experience of the guys on the resume and the fact that he could have won both of the fights that they say he lost obviously means he's no pushover to anyone, and he can compete with the best in the elite competition in the welterweight division. Now, the fifth and final reason why I believe Shawn Showtime Porter beats Danny Swift Garcia, and that's going to be his development. Now, I know what you're saying. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. The shit you can't. Now, Shawn Showtime Porter has shown in his last fight against Adrian Granados something that I didn't think I would ever really see from him. He fought going forward. He fought going back. He didn't fight with a relentless aggression at all times. He did at points. And at other points, he took steps back. He tried to box more. He tried to use more lateral movement. Shawn Showtime Porter was not attempting to just smother his punches. He was not attempting to just rush in blindly again and again and again. He was more thoughtful about the decisions he made, which shows me that they're making some very, very good progress towards development, making sure that they're able to fight in different styles and being able to adjust against different opponents. This is going to serve him well against a Danny Swift Garcia, because against a guy like Danny Swift Garcia, you're going to need to be able to make adjustments and fight in more than one way. Because once you get timed, if you're still a sitting duck coming in with the same tenacity again and again and again, you will get timed, you will get chin checked, and you will get rocked. So that is something that you definitely need to be prepared for, and I think Shawn Showtime Porter will be, and he's shown that in the Adrian Granados fight. Once again, thanks for tuning in. Please share, like, and subscribe. IBFP.